All right, we are live. Welcome to Bouncing Deathquark cast. I am CoDameron. I am here with my co-host Kiramode.
Depressed as always.
Kiramode is coming straight off of his top 4 loss, but we're not talking about that. We're in the finals. This is the finals of the Denver Vault Tour. We have Nathan with Bahamut, Alp, Larissa, Heifetz, and Brooks at Bombfoot, the Aeronaut, the Pike, or something like that. We'll pull up their deck list in a second, but we have not seen this matchup yet. I believe this is adaptive, right?
Yeah, it's adaptive, and thankfully, been staying off the internet the last couple days just so that way I don't know who wins, which is good. I don't want to. I mean, we see both their decks; they're both good decks.
So we'll talk about them real quick for a second. They both have a bunch of control the weeks. And Bombfoot we'll talk about first because we're rooting for this deck to win. I don't know if it wins or not, but it just beat Kiramode, so we want it to win.
Yeah.
And Kiramode, tell me about this deck because you know this deck really well.
Yeah. So looking at the deck, I think the way it played against me is not indicative of how it will play in this matchup necessarily, because he just drew all of his creatures really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think what is relevant for the matchup is the other deck, it doesn't have that much board control, right? Like just ability to build a board is not very high. So in particular, those shadow selves can be very relevant if they're next to, like, say, a Snudge or maybe like a Shaffles.
I would like to see it next to the Shaffles or the Succubus.
Yeah.
I think it'll get value next to the Telegas and the Hunting Witches too.
Yeah, but I think in this game you'll see it be played more as a race, in all likelihood. That's probably how this deck will look in the finals, would be my guess. And then just hope to build the disc board.
The other one has this really beautiful disc side with the 3 Fates. Like the 3 Fates hits the Shadow Cells every time, right?
Yeah.
So if you can get past that, then I mean I guess it hits Grekking too, but the Arise into this great disc board is something I'm afraid of.
The Arise is big. The spot removal is pretty big too. So this is where the Shadow Cells are going to be really important, because 3 Relentless Whispers and 2 Twin Bolts, there's actually a lot of targets in Brooks' deck for that. Like let's tap back to Brooks and see how many guys that are 2 or less can be potentially hit.
1, 2.
So there's the Umbra, the Hunting Witch, the Shaffles.
Telegas at 3.
And I guess the Dusk Nymph, sort of.
The Umbra.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that they're not getting hit too hard by this stuff. Like, you want to protect the weenies. On the other side, this deck doesn't have a lot of board itself, right? Like, Shadows can't really build a board. Logos can't really build a board. The disc board's where it's at.
It doesn't reap for value, but you're going to find a disc board of 5 or 6 a lot because of the Arise.
Yeah. Also, Grekking versus opposing disc boards is really powerful. So that's the card to watch out for. Does Brooks have anything that can deal with the Grekking? There's
the Booby Trap, because once you I'm really afraid of these Shadow Selves getting stolen. Like, a really strong play would be Relentless Whispers or Twin Bolt to put 2 damage on the Shadow Selves, and then you walk into it with Grekking. 2 + 7 is 9, and that means Grekking never dies in the future.
I see. Yeah, that could be pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Actually, no way to deal with Grekking is actually pretty bad. Like no good way to deal with Grekking. I guess maybe Big Twig. Like, you can just try to reap and stun him over and over again.
That's a weird play, but I mean it would work.
I think
maybe Life
Ward?
As
far as Control the Weeks go, Life Ward's not bad. I think as far as Control the Weeks go, Brooks is in a better position to not get burned by them, simply because he has a little bit more creatures in each house. Right? Like, you got, while you can't build a super commanding board out of any of these houses, they all have at least 5. So you might be able to get like 2/2/2. And so if you get Control of the Week, you're not just completely time walked.
One thing about the Control of the Weeks are that there's key control in every house for both players, right? But I mean, I think they're gonna be rough. I think Control of the Week is going to be really strong in this matchup no matter what, because there's multiple in both decks, and it's going to set whatever player gets them off first up for being resilient to the other player's Control of the Weeks.
And neither one has like tremendous board presence, so it is possible that well-timed Control of the Weeks can host someone.
What's interesting to me is that neither of these decks are huge combos. there's really just a lot of efficiency plays in both of these decks. I think I put my money on Bahamut. I still like this Relentless Whispers, the Control of the Weaks, the Twin Bolts, the Routine Jobs, the Rocket Boots, Ember Imps, Terrors. There's so many 2Xs in this deck, and I just like that. I think that gives the deck more of an identity. I like this house. I think the Arise is going to be strong. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm rooting for Bombfoot because he beat you. I put my money on the other one.
Wait, are you sure you got your names right? This is Nathan, right?
There's Bahamut and Bombfoot.
All right, well, okay. I would guess, so Nathan's the one that has the routine jobs, right?
Yes.
So I put my money there for the simple reason of these decks are pretty close in big picture, but when decks are close, I just look at key control and just say, okay, who has better key control? Mm-hmm. And I think his key control is significantly better.
I agree.
Than Brooks.
I agree.
But it's still close. Like I think what this game will really come down to is who can build their disc board up first. Whoever can do that is probably going to win.
Okay, I like that. And I want to see how the Shadow Selves play in the matchup. What they protect, what they are liabilities for, and how easily they die. Right?
Yep.
All right, so this is the finals. So by the way, this is adaptive. This is play, swap, bid. They will play a game, they will swap decks, and if one player has won... hey, Victor! Victor is congratulating you, man.
Oh, okay.
Victor's the man. All right, we're on turn 1. I want to see where the Shadow Souls go.
Ooh, that's a good turn.
Play, swap, bid. Turn 1, play. I'll play Succubus. I'm about that turn. Is there anything that they're looking for early? I mean, I guess Nathan wants to... Nathan really wants to see his disc board grow before he finds the Arise. I mean, that's obvious, but I think Arise is especially strong in this game.
Yeah, I guess the Arise gives Nathan extra reach on building his disc board. As long as he finds his creatures first and his Arise second, he has an extra out.
Ooh.
That's a hand right there.
Don't play into, like, you know about the booby trap and the bait and switch now? Mm-hmm. That's really big. And now he is threatening the Hunting Witch with that Ganymede Archivist. But he's still under Succubus. He did not take care of the Succubus.
Yeah, Untamed still the play here. You're not getting one full value, but also now you have both a Hunting Witch and a Succubus that needs to be dealt with. Mm-hmm. Now Nathan does have a bunch of weenie kill spells, right? Like Relentless Whispers and Twin Bolts and whatnot.
Nathan could ram his 2 guys into the Hunting Witch Succubus. It's more value, but you don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's a bad turn if that's all he does. He needs to deal with them via hand.
I like this. Rocket Boots on the Archivist means that you can reap twice and archive twice. Okay,
yeah, he did what I was thinking. I was about to say that you should, if you're going to do Rocket Boots, you should just use them to 2 for 1 and kill both of his guys.
So he's at 3. He fights into the 2, and then he fights into the 3. And then he Psychic Bugs again to see his hand. I find that very interesting. He could have kept the Archivist. No, he couldn't.
No, the Archivist has to suicide, but that's fine. He needs to draw more cards. You can't let that Succubus stay on the table forever.
Interesting, but he only played 1 card. I guess he's drawing 2, but there is a world where you just double reap with the Archivist and you let him do his thing, right? You are filtering your deck very efficiently by doing that, and then you can fight.
Nathan has a bait, right?
He does.
You'd have to be worried that the Hunting Witch is just going to get too much value. Because if you let that Hunting Witch live for a turn, a Shadow Self can just plop on.
No, you can fight the bug into the Witch. You would accept the Succubus. But you could have double reaped with the Archivist to archive 2 cards and no, he fought. He fought into the... Notice he doesn't have any archives. He fought into the Hunting Witch to take 2 damage, and then he fought into the Succubus to take 3 damage, kill both of them.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think of other lines of play.
So Nathan's in the tank here. Brooks has a really good start.
Yeah.
He's really held them tight for a while.
Control.
And I think if you control the weak into... Well, probably into Shadows, because he knows he has the bait, right? So
isn't it Untamed?
He's either... No, because his Untamed turn, he still gets 2 activations, one of which is really good. And you also don't want your Ember to die.
Okay.
I would make him go Shadows.
He went Dis. And he knew he was going to get controlled back, which is actually kind of funny. But I guess it keeps his Ember Imp on the board. So he did Dis to keep his Ember Imp on the board because he's holding the booby trap, right? Dis is the only turn that doesn't kill your Ember Imp. That's what it is. He knows this. We know this too.
I forgot the booby trap was there. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking that like the bait gets either discarded or forced as a chain.
He plays Neurosiphon to take him down to 6. I really want to see him also go down to. He can't get baited here.
Ooh, Twin Bolt. That's good.
Yeah, but like he's not stopping the Forge into the bait, and then he's gonna get booby trapped. Did he really not have another option? I mean, maybe not.
Yeah, he might have just not had another play available to him. But that does feel like, I mean, maybe that was the only way he could take out the Hunting Witch, but maybe if you just call Dis there, you can kill it anyways.
This feels so bad for Nathan. Honestly, yes, Ryan, that's exactly what I was talking about. Double Archive might have been stronger to counteract the Witch. But yeah, like we knew that this booby trap and bait and switch has been in Brooks' hand since turn 1. And Nathan just walked right into it. I mean, that's what you have to do, I guess, but it feels really bad. It feels like there could have been another play.
Way behind right now. He needs...
holding...
a Rise can bring him back.
He was holding Relentless Whispers Urchin, and he decided to play Twin Bolt and the Logos turn. That's very strange to me.
Oh, he had that?
Yeah. Maybe he didn't have the Urchin.
Yeah.
But here's a thought.
Yeah, maybe he drew into it.
Here's a thought. Maybe he decided to accept the bait early game. Right? Oh, maybe no. He got control the week. He got control the week. Okay. No. We know what happened. He got control the week. I forgot.
Yeah, because this is a monstrous Shadows turn here. That there's no way you hold back if you don't have to.
Yeah, he got control the week. Okay.
Because like Nathan went from being way behind to, I wouldn't say ahead, but evening up the game. Right, like just with such a massive Shadows turn.
Honestly, going back and looking at that first control the week play is a really important thing. Like in retrospect, yeah, Luke brings up a good point because you have to suicide the Hunting Witch to get the Ember Imp off the board. But we're here now, and we're in the mid game. We're at 1 key apiece, and resources have been expended. The Snudge is gone. But we haven't seen the Arise yet. And I think the Arise is a big way for Nathan to actually pull far ahead. Does he have it?
So whose turn is it? Is it Nathan's turn or is it Brooks' turn?
Nathan's in the tank right now. Brooks played some guys.
Okay. If Nathan, I mean, they both have a window here where they just got to build this board, right? Because they're both going to get the Amber fast. It's more of, you want to shield yourself from Protect the Weak really blowing you out.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan has 2 left in the deck. Brooks has 1. And so Brooks forcing him into Logos, I'm not sure was the right play because it let him get some value out of it.
You can't do Shadows. You can't. Back and see. I don't know. It's probably fine.
You definitely can't do Shadows. Okay, if you call, I guess there's really no good options.
We have Control the Weak again. What does Nathan call here? Dis again because he just played a bunch of discards?
Yeah. Like his Dis turn just read twice pass. That's fine. Like you're perfectly okay with that.
Stealer of Souls to Purge Charette. That's so
Purge
bad.
Is nice.
Purge is so good against against the Arise that we know is coming, or we hope is coming.
Nathan has to hope it's coming because otherwise, this game's really, really tight.
Yeah, this game is, and the counter Control the Weak, again.
I think you force him into Dis for sure.
You just keep going Dis to get them all out there. Nathan's checking, make sure that that's all of them. Maybe he's looking at his discard pile to count, like looking at your opponent's discard pile to see how many of each card they have played. If they've played 10 discards, you call them into Dis. Okay, so he gets controlled into Logos. Wormhole.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Yeah, like he hasn't played Logos.
Yeah, that needed to be Dis every time because he only has 1 discard and it's on the board.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's something that we. Okay, he discards Dexter.
He discarded the Dexter.
He did that. He did that in his top 8 game or top 16 game also. He discarded Dexter.
We've seen that 2 games now where he's just said that I don't want Dexter. He's a brick.
I don't know, like.
So Brooks let him draw a couple cards there, when he could have just said, "You're gonna be in dis, and you're gonna reap once, and that's gonna be your turn."
Ooh, I like Lost in the Woods here. To get
great.
the Schuler activation again.
Well, you also get rid of a disc creature, and without putting him in the discard, so his Arise is weaker. That's a great Lost in the Woods there.
I wonder if there's
and also Schuler index more valuable than Nexus or the Terror.
I wonder if they've got like any banter going on right now that's like revealing what they should be playing. Oh yeah, you're not gonna. If I'm playing this matchup, I'm bantering. I'm saying you're not gonna call me into this. You should call me into shot. And I'm just trying to get in their head. I call it playing above the table. The game is not here. The game is here, and that might be happening. Okay, so that's a very strong.
That's a turn.
The Telega.
Yeah. Okay. So very, very strong. Because like not only does Brooks take away Nathan's board, he also now has 3 guys, and he doesn't have an immediate way to deal with Telega. All of his removal does 2 damage. So you'd have to have 2 removal cards back to back to kill her, or like maybe you throw an Urchin into it and then whispers it off.
He's holding 3 Fates, but then he doesn't. He loses a key.
What else does he have for this? I guess that's the question.
I think
he's playing it. I mean that's the comeback card. I think if he doesn't have that card there, he just gets blown out.
And now Brooks might, if Brooks slams 2 Shadow Selves here, I would be really impressed.
Yeah,
I would
but
be
like
happy
one
to
of the
see
things
one.
that, like I mentioned in the pregame, is like Brooks is playing a little bit more of a race style deck, right? Like he is trying to control the board, but he's gaining Amber while he's doing it, and I think that's really what that deck is. Just want to try to get to Amber as fast as possible.
Look at all that Amber he's getting, just playing it out. And Nathan also does a thing where we saw this in the top 16 game. He decides he's happy to sit at 5. He's happy to go a slower turn in order to try to find more control in the game. And
yeah, his deck doesn't look like a traditional control deck, but he is definitely playing it like one. So while Brooks seems pretty content to play it as a racing deck, Nathan is not, even though they have very similar decks in overall structure.
Right. And this is really a playstyle choice. Like Nathan's choice to give him a key there. I think he's got a Relentless Whispers in hand or something that at least could have taken. Yeah, he has a Relentless Whispers. He could have popped his own Urchin and, not played 3 Fates here. And the last time he actually held 3 Fates a bunch to get better value. I like Tentacus here. Tentacus is really
the
cool.
The 3 Fates got him back in the game though. Like I don't know if he can win without that card getting played there.
Why not? Why couldn't he just done a Shadow's turn first to get him off of a key?
Because if he plays the Shadow... Wait, are we talking about last turn?
Yeah.
Because he had the Telega, right? So it's hard for him to play creatures.
No, you're right. He could have done like Silvertooth, fight, and then Relentless Whispers, but then he has to find another steal, which he might have been holding. That's like an option he could have done. And then he holds the 3 Fates for the Shadow Selves.
I wonder what's going on here. Like it looks like there's confusion over the steal.
Yeah, there's the Ritual of Balance, which he activated, and then he steals an Amber, but then Tentacus puts it back. And that's kind of the...
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And I guess there's no take back seas, right?
No, and that's why Nathan was so happy to play Tentacus there. And it means that Brooks's Untamed list can't get him off of a key. Is there a Murmook? Maybe. No, there are Murmooks. But
okay, so
there wasn't one. That's a huge deal, I think.
Okay, so I don't know what Brooks's hand was, but his turn was full moon into 1 creature, and the big part of the turn was I think he wanted to get him off a key.
Seems like I'm fine with that turn. That's a fine turn.
But he couldn't get him off the key. So I don't know how much of value he missed there.
No, that's a big value loss for sure.
We'll see if it makes a difference. I mean, because now Nathan has a second key, so he's not down a key. He's just down 4 Amber. Their boards are pretty close to even, though.
It now means that he can. They both are threatening for game.
Actually no. Now he's got a way bigger board.
There's the
sold
play.
Shadow Self.
I told you that was the play. You fight and then you Grekking the Shadow Self. Now Grekking never dies. I love it. Good play. And notice Nathan gains no amber. This is intentional on Nathan's part. He absolutely is gaining no amber to prevent Shadow's things from happening. 100%. Nathan,
yeah, you just want to extend the game, right? Like the longer this game goes, the better off you are.
But like, look at Nathan not gaining amber and Brooks racing the amber.
Brooks is like, I just got to get a couple amber, put this guy in check, and just kind of keep holding him there. Because Nathan hasn't played his bait yet. So if he can find that really gets him in good position. His disboard cannot get him off a key, though, right? Like, we just saw him play his discards.
And he
so
can't
he's going to have to find something in shadows to get him off.
He can't arise for Charette. Which is
that's gone.
Yeah, that got purged. And Nathan let it get purged because he controlled the weak into that play. I see a Dodger. I see a Relentless Whispers in a routine job.
There's a Whispers. So. Okay, so he can get him off.
Yeah, we're fine.
I guess the question is, like, can you get to enough amber where you can...
Wait, there's 2 Whispers and a routine job. This is currently 7-0. Let's see how far it swings back.
Wait, that gets him into check, I think.
This is going to be ridiculous. And this is why that second key matters so much. Because now it's the threat of the game. Now Brooks has to respond, right? If it was only the second key, it wouldn't.
He definitely had the right idea in wanting to stop that key, but missing that the Tentacus is there is a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Because that was just such a potato turn. And, like, you saw all the Shadows cards he had, so you had to have at least 3 of those on the previous turn that he could have played instead. And instead didn't, to try to just get him off a key, and it didn't work.
I think
but
Nathan is considering... Nathan is considering, I'm just going to build a Shadows board and hold my Relentless Whispers. He's holding 2 of them. Okay, he's going to play them. Whoa.
Okay, that's a mistake.
No, it's not.
He needed to just...
Is it? Whoa,
no,
hold on.
Just kill your own guys. Like,
I need to pause this. Why did he do that? Nathan is so obsessed with the controlling game here that he is not taking the 2 amber from Relentless Whispers?
Yeah, the move needs to be you kill off your own Urchin and kill off your own...
Tentacus?
What's it called? No.
Silvertooth?
Silvertooth. Yeah, because now you get 2 extra amber. Your opponent has 2 less amber. It's really hard for him to put you into check. Your opponent's also lost their bait. After their bait, Brooks doesn't have, like, any key control.
Is Brooks's bait gone?
Yeah.
Okay,
he already played it.
Okay.
So his bait's gone. He doesn't have any relevant key control. Nathan's at 6. If he gets up to 8, I don't think Brooks can stop him.
He's at 7. He would have been at 9.
Oh, even better. Yeah. Like, so we'll see if that costs him the game, because also now Brooks has 5, right? So it's conceivable that he could maybe take 2 amber from him.
Umbra plus
get up to enough amber to call check.
Umbra plus a steal. And Nathan really wants to keep his board. I thought he was going to hold the Whispers. Okay, yeah, here comes Shadows, and Brooks isn't freaking out. Like, he's got to have another steal.
Yeah, he has to have 1 more.
Hey, the Whispers that wouldn't have even been able to hit, I guess it would have been, but it's fine.
Well, if you kill off your own, you still would have hit, but now he puts Nathan back in check, so Nathan's going to have an answer for him.
And he was all obsessed with the Dodger fighting nicely into the Shadow Self. Or maybe Nathan didn't consider killing his own guys. That can't be right. That's not true. Does Nathan even have an out? Because the other thing is, he was banking on drawing into an out. He went down to 1 card and is just hoping that he draws the right thing. He has a phase shift. Wow.
Okay, so...
He loses.
I feel like he threw that one away.
Is there something that we're missing?
No, he blew it. Like, if those Relentless Whispers just kills off your own Shadow Selves, or your own little Shadows dudes, that's 2 extra amber. Brooks didn't have anything after that.
Yeah.
Right, so, like, he went through his whole Shadows turn. That 2 steal that he had was all he had. So if you have 2 more amber, it's a wrap.
Wow. Okay, well, sure. Okay. That was very strange.
They had pretty even draws. And what's it called? I think they actually played pretty even.
No, yeah.
Like Brooks made a couple mistakes, but like that final turn, I really feel like Nathan just lost it there.
I think that they had very differing opinions on how to play Control the Week. I want to see how they call Control the Week. Nathan always did Control the Week for Dis, and Brooks always put him onto Logos. I want to see if that flips now.
Yeah, I think Nathan made better Control the Week calls, because I don't think he was picking Dis for the sake of picking Dis. I think he was picking Dis because Brooks just happened to have played Dis right after, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Brooks is picking Logos because he just thinks Logos is the weakest house in his deck.
I agree.
But there were a couple times where he let Nathan play too many cards.
And also, putting Logos got him off of the key that one time. Oh, no, it kept him on the key. Sorry. There's not a lot of key control to Logos.
With that said, though, so while Nathan was able to play Control the Week better, Brooks had his eye on the ball, right? Once he was up, he started racing. Mm-hmm. He played the creatures he played, and I mean, he did have that one mistake where he didn't know about the Tentacus, but he still made the right type of decision, which is keep him off a key, get whatever amber you can, and just keep pushing forward.
Play your cards.
As long as I'm one turn ahead, I'm going to win.
And I think that's a good point. The right type of decision. Brooks is in the right mindset for the game, but I want to see if Nathan plays this deck. He's playing a new deck now. I want to see if he plays it controlly.
Yeah.
I want to see if he plays it as a control thing or if he also chooses to race. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Game 2.
Yeah, and they should both know how to target the weaknesses of their decks.
Right. And now the control of the week should be devastating.
Well, I'm thinking Nathan is more invested in the control of the week than Brooks is. I think Brooks' control of the weeks are there because they just happen to be there, and he liked other elements of the deck.
And they're strong, and they have an amber.
Bringing the control of the week because he wants control of the week.
Right. I wonder how comfortable Nathan will be. I really want to see Nathan adapt and play a faster game.
He's going to have to with this deck, right?
Turn 1 Shadow Self is not... It's a good play. It's not fast, though. I just wanted to make a joke.
It's fine. I like it.
I was going to make a joke, and I'm like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that play. And here's Brooks playing 2 cards that is threatening the Shadow Self.
That is a great turn.
I would like your Shadow Self, sir. May I please have it? Nathan says, okay. You can have my Shadow Self. Nathan...
So Nathan has a pretty solid comeback turn. I think if you're Brooks, I don't think I take the Shadow Self. Actually, you probably just take it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Shadow Self next to Gracking is really, really good. But he doesn't have any other discards? No, he has at least one. Ooh, Control the Week. Oh, he drew into 2 discards.
Each.
Wait, did he hold the Control the Week from turn 1? Or did he draw it?
That Control the Week, I would actually hold the Control the Week there, because you're gonna call Dis your next turn, and you want to make sure that you can lock Nathan into a weak turn. Mm-hmm. And like at this point, there's no good Control the Week calls. If you call Dis, he has 3 guys on the board. If you call anything else, he has cards in hand to play, so you're not really hurting him.
He called Shadows and got a 1-card turn out of it. Which I don't know if that was lucky or...
That feels lucky.
It feels lucky. But Nathan might be holding a card. I don't think he is. But, I mean, if he was, he shouldn't have been.
Okay, why? This should be a disc call, too. Grecking...
I want to kill... Pit Demon.
Just kill the Pit Demon, right?
Yeah.
Like, if Grecking kills the Pit Demon, now you have, like, this monstrous disc turn. Like, you should just be trying to milk that as long as you can.
Mm-hmm. That feels like a little bit of a strange turn. But Brooks is still playing like a racing deck. He's trying to play as many cards as he can. He had a 3-card Logos turn.
But in this matchup, he is the control deck. And we'll see if that comes back to bite him. Because like that should have been a disc turn 100% of the time.
Yeah.
If you get that Pit Demon...
There might even be a world where you go Charette Grecking into Mac the Knife. Right? It's probably...
I would probably just rather have the Pit Demon.
Okay, having Pit Demon's better. And it improves your disc turn. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, I think I would have the Pit Demon, and then I would probably use Tentacus to kill the Schuler. So that way, Nathan can't trade into any of your disc board, and you could just ride the disc board for the rest of the game.
Interesting. If you kill the Schuler with the Tentacus, then your Shadow Self dies. Are you mad at that? Maybe.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, because the Shadow Self's probably going to die anyways, right? You're going to be taking 5 damage for taking the Pit Demon.
Mm-hmm.
But now you'll have like a Pit Demon, a Tentacus, a Grekking, and a Charette, all fresh, and you're able to just keep stealing stuff.
Yep.
With Grekking.
And they're not threatened by anything.
Yeah.
Lost in the Woods. Very timely Lost in the Woods.
Yeah.
This is the sort of thing that, like, I feel like there's an in-person element of, like, yeah, I really know that there's something going on. Yeah, so, Ryan, Mac the Knife would improve your disc turn, but Daniel's argument is that taking the 2 5s off of the board protects your disc turn and takes away from his disc turn. And I think that's a reason to do that. Okay. Shuffles back the Shadow Self and the Grekking. Is that right? That's fine.
No, that's definitely right, because the Shadow Self goes back into your own deck.
But keeping the Murmuk out? Instead of Mac the Knife with 2 damage?
Yeah, the Mac is like kind of about to die, right?
What do you mean he's elusive?
His deck has 5 cards that deal 2 damage directly.
Yeah, no, Ryan. There's arguments for Mac the Knife, but it does cost 2 attacks. There's arguments for both. I think either play is reasonable. Sorry, I'm reading chat too, because there's a lot of data going on back and forth right here, especially because they don't know their decks. And on the subject of them not knowing their decks, I think Brooks is still playing with his own playstyle, and it feels like Nathan is trying to play. I think he's just playing the cards in his hand. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of choices that he's making that are too ostentatious.
Yeah. You know, he's playing what the deck gives him. I do think that Brooks is trying to draw a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
And he needed to leverage that disc turn, because, like, I mean, that's the thing about this game, right? It's when you have a board, you use it, because you might not have it next turn. Right? Like, 1 turn's all it takes. And so if his turn has Nathan down 2 more cards, now that Lost in the Woods wipes his own board.
And look, now he had to waste his Nexus to kill the Pit Demon. I guess. I don't know. We're too far past it to extrapolate to this. But he did just waste time killing the Pit Demon.
Mm-hmm. Brooks is still ahead by a good deal.
How about Resources Expended? That's a big play. I like that booby trap.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
They're even on Amber. Like, honestly, this is much more even than the opening turns would have suggested.
Yeah, this turn's pretty good. If Nathan can just drop a couple bodies here.
Look at Nathan not protecting the Murmuk. He does this a lot. He plays Shadow Self on flanks.
Yeah, I like doing that too. I just think sometimes you have creatures that are going to come later that are more valuable than the creatures you have on the board now.
Mm-hmm. And just being able to say, I can protect whatever I play and you don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so Forge a Key, Phase Shift into Bait.
And the Bait.
There, yep. I mean, that's how you play Keyforge.
Yeah.
But then pass. Wait, what? Why would he do that? Did I miss a card? Did I miss something? Why did he not just say Shadows?
No, that was it. I think he just said Phase Shift, Bait, pass.
Okay, whatever.
Did he have any other Shadows card? Like, I feel like if you have any other Shadows card, you could just play that.
I think it's a dishand, and that doesn't steal. Weird. But he's about to get controlled, probably into Logos again. Or Shadows. Like, if that's the case, if the turn was Phase Shift into Bait, then Nathan's Control the Weak call can't be wrong.
Forcing Shadows is pretty good here, just because Relentless Whispers doesn't have any good targets.
Shaffles.
No, he's next to a Shadow Self.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Whereas Twin Bolt does have targets.
No, yeah, you're right.
But Nathan is turning the corner here.
Here's that.
Brooks is going to need that 3 fates bad.
So when Nathan plays 4 disc creatures and a Control the Weak, are you getting PTSD? Because this is where that deck turns the corner. Suddenly Nathan has a disc board somewhere out of nowhere. and it's threatening. And
so in the previous
Brooks gets
game,
time locked again with the control of the week.
Yeah, like the previous game, Brooks had it in the bag, and then Nathan 3 fates him, and that got it close before Nathan fumbled at the 1 yard line. Right here, Brooks not having a way to deal with this board is going to kill him, and like the double control of the week is just devastating.
That's both of them, but it's only going to get Nathan to, it'll get him 2 keys, pretty much.
He said it lets him forge, and he also just has a monster board now.
Yep. Brooks doesn't have like a good way to deal with it. Yeah, the double control of the week is really rough here. And honestly, Nathan got a free pass to do those control of the weeks. Nathan does the easiest. I've never seen an easier control of the week call: phase shift into bait pass. That means he doesn't have shadows cards or logos cards.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, if you have 4 logos cards or 4 discards, you're maybe just better off playing the dis hand, because you lose the bait,
you lose the
value,
king.
but like now your board's way behind.
Also, you draw 4 cards. Yeah, that's the thing, and you do the phase shift into bait because you want to draw more cards. You want to draw one more discard. I'm not mad at that play.
But you're revealing your hand, though.
I mean, it's a niche thing in this matchup, but it's a real thing in this matchup. So I don't know if it was the right play or not.
So he had the 3 fates.
Okay, here's
it's just the control of the week. Pretty brutal. Oh my. Okay, yeah. So his phase shift bait turn looks a whole lot worse now. Knowing that you had
it was
some combination of those 4 cards.
It was probably the Ember Imps and the Terrors, and I bet you that the 3 fates hadn't been drawn yet. I mean, maybe it was, but he wanted to he wanted to get the key.
What I'm saying is like
bait value.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that board, and I'm like, if you have like even one of those Ember Imps, that's pretty good.
Because Nathan played all of those disc guys along with the control of the week, right? The first one.
Yeah. So then he doesn't have a good control of the week option.
Yeah.
I mean, he forges his key, but it's key number 1, right? We're not talking about key 3. Like, I think you can let the first key go. If your entire turn is just like play bait pass, I don't think that's enough.
No, it really wasn't.
Especially when it shows that you have 4 discards in hand, and now Nathan has a super easy control of the week call.
If it's bait pass, it's almost better because it doesn't show that you're holding 4 discards, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, like let's step back for a second. That seemed like a reasonable play at the time. It's not. That's not like a huge.
Well, it seemed reasonable until he passed.
It's not a huge misplay.
It is like, okay.
It is. It's a very hard decision to make there, and I think playing phase shift or bait is a reasonable turn. But yeah.
Well, I mean, this also comes down to like, are you the control deck or are you the racing deck, right? Brooks is the control deck in this scenario, or at least he should be. You need to get those creatures down, and you figure out the Amber situation later.
Sure. And but losing your first key, it felt bad, but I think you're right. I think the double Ember Imp, or one of the Ember Imps on the board, would have been better. And Nathan's in the tank here. He fights Ember Imp with Dust Imp. He reaps Shafels, and he's probably going to fight the Ember Imp with the Snudge and bounce a Terror, or the.
I would bounce the Tentacus.
Luke, he didn't play that because he drew 2 cards instead and showed his whole hand. He basically gave his opponent a Psychic Bug and drew an extra card. It was gross. But yeah. So where do we go from here? Nathan is 2 Amber away from the game. What does Brooks need to do?
Yeah, I think Brooks, he needs to continue to focus on the board. He does have some steal effects in his deck, right? So I think what you can do is you hope to have one big turn where you build a board, and then Nathan builds up Amber, and you have like a turn where you're like double Relentless Whispers, Urchin plus Routine Job, or something like that. And then that just like completely turns the tide, because now you're you're evened up on amber, and you have a board advantage.
So you're saying Brooks needs to race into more cards again. Like, he needs to draw all the right cards again, and then get a big Shadows turn.
But he still needs the board, right? So, like, it's not just a Shadows turn, he needs the board.
What do you call on the Control of the Week?
Dis.
Is it Dis? I think...
Yeah, Nathan just had a Dis turn.
I think he just had a couple of Dis turns. But he's showing the Snudge? Are we afraid of the Snudge?
I don't know why he didn't kill the Snudge, though. Like the ability to kill the Snudge was there, unless he controlled the week into something that wasn't Dis, which...
We're going to find out.
His turn needed to be kill Snudge and then control the week into Dis.
He killed the Mermaid and the Shaffles. So he's probably going to call Untamed.
Like Shaffles doesn't matter. So he needed to use those attacks to still kill the Shaffles, but also kill the Snudge, and then say you're playing Dis again.
Right.
Because Nathan's turn was, I just played Dis and did a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So now if you force him back into it, you time walk him.
It looks like, I mean, he killed the Mermook.
Oh,
this is another terrible Untamed Control the Week call. I wonder what Brooks is afraid of in Dis to make him not do the Dis turn. I wonder what's in Brooks's head about calling this Untamed. Because he did he did the exact same thing to you. He called Untamed when he should have called Sanctum. And
I think
his huge turn.
I think the way he plays Control of the Week is I don't think he looks at the board when he does it. I think the way he does it is I look at your 3 houses, and there's the house I'm the most afraid of, and then there's the house I'm the least afraid of, and I'm just always going to call the house I'm least afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, regardless of the situation. And like this situation, like, was perfectly set up for a Dis Control of the Week.
Luke, I think we're being hard. I think we're being hard on him with the phase shift because that was the play that happened, and it was an interesting one. And that's what I was saying. It's the right play. It's the obvious play, and probably the right play most of the time. But if he had played the disc cards, then, like, would the game have been different? Is letting him have the first key okay? And the pro play
Possibly
might have been to do the disc things. We're being hard on him, but I think that there's absolutely it's the first thing that you look to do in that turn is play bait. Stop the key, get 3. But so
yeah, like you can make a case for that.
Brooks has turned the corner.
That Control of the Week call was unacceptable.
That was
like,
unacceptable.
You cannot, because like if you call this there, that gets you back that puts you in the driver's seat. Like you're still losing by considerable margin. Like Nathan's going to put him in check.
I want to make a note. So Nathan plays Vigor on the Terror to get 2 Amber. Great play. I love it. He doesn't play it on... So he's playing it as the racing deck. He doesn't do it on his own Snudge to get that... to heal him and keep him around because he wants the Amber. He's trying to push that last key. Also, he knows that he's playing Shadows next because he hasn't played Shadows in forever. Brooks, on the other hand, plays his Relentless Whispers on the Snudge instead of the Umbra because he's still afraid of the Snudge and isn't considering Nathan having not played Dis in a bunch of turns. Right? Like, you haven't seen...
Yeah.
I think I might have said something wrong there. Nathan hasn't played Shadows. The Relentless Whispers should have hit the Umbra. Did I say that last time? That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what you meant.
Yeah.
I think that it's fine. Like it's like that's one of those decisions that probably killing the Umbra is better, but it's not by a lot.
It's a steal, and I mean that quote, "not by a lot." Look at that Amber pool. GG.
So Okay, I was wondering how Brooks kept him off a key, and it's like, okay, no, they're just showing to show.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh wait, so it's 1-1.
Okay, so they're bidding on Brooks's deck, right?
Let's pull that up. It's this one. No, it's this one. Bahamut Alp Larissa. But hold on. No, it's Bombfoot. Bombfoot won twice.
I think looking at these decks,
hold on. I think what happened is Nathan won 2 games, but conceded the first one.
Yeah, like Nathan should have won that first one. He completely did. Like out of all of the turns that we've seen in this game, I think Nathan's final turn with Shadows was abominable. It is by far the worst decision we've seen.
To recall, the whole point of it was he Relentless Whispered for not stealing.
Yeah. So easily the biggest mistake, because like all these other decisions, the mistake is what happens 3-4 turns as a result of your decision. That is a 1-turn mistake. It's like you can either get to 7 or you can get to 9, and if he can't stop you, you win.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't get to 9.
And he was looking for the next turn. He was looking at his board. He was looking at his shadows thing. He was also trying to filter. He was banking on drawing the bait and switch, which he didn't. I don't know how we're going to just understand what they're bidding.
If I were, it's weird because I think Nathan has the better deck, honestly.
Yeah, but they're bidding on Brooks's deck.
Because that second game, I kind of feel like Brooks might have dropped the ball there on that control the weak play.
I think there was,
because if he controls the weak into this, he has 5 extra amber.
Yeah. And right. I think there was also another thing that I remember that he did incorrectly, but I forget what it was. No, we were arguing about the phase shift turn. That phase shift turn was fine, but it was an interesting turning point of the game.
Messed up with both of them. I feel like both of them messed up with Nathan's deck. But they're bidding on Brooks's deck because I think you have to bid on the deck one.
That is true, and I think the owner starts the bidding.
I'd start 0 bid. Right, so if this is Brooks's deck, I'd be like, I bid 0 chains, and then Nathan from there probably just lets him play it at 0. I would be perfectly content playing no chains, because there's no way that Nathan plays his own deck.
Everybody, stop looking. I'm trying to scrub. Okay. I don't know how many chains they have. I don't see a chain tracker. They might have done another 0-0.
They probably did 0.
Yeah. I see an untamed on Nathan's side. So they did switch decks.
Wait, did they?
Yeah. Nathan has an untamed on his card. Do you see that? It's untamed.
It's a little blurry for me.
It's untamed Disc Shadows. And that's Bombfoot. So Nathan did take the winning deck. They are flipped. If anyone knows what the chain bid was, let me know, because I don't think it was 0. Hopefully he'll pull out a chain tracker and we'll see. But yeah,
Brooks here drew 7 cards. I don't see how many Nathan has.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait,
6?
I think it was a 0 bid because it looks like it's a full hand. No, that's 6 cards in his hand.
I see 5 cards in his hand. What are you talking about? You can't count. 1 chain. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Coming in clutch. Bids 1 chain. Brooks says fine. Brooks does not want to play with chains. Makes sense as the racing player. So before we roll with this game, I want to talk about that. Thank you, Andrew.
I think Brooks made the right choice.
You do?
I think so. I just feel like watching that game, I feel like Nathan's deck is better. Even though it lost both games, I think that the losses were mostly due to player error than anything else.
Also, let's also consider the fact that this is the end of a long day. What time was this by the time this game was played?
It wasn't that late, man. It was like 2 or 3.
Okay, it was. They still played a bunch of rounds. Get off them. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so ready to roll? We are flipped decks.
If I were Nathan, I would just bid 0.
No. He did bid 0. Brooks has to bid 0 to start. Nathan gets to bid 1. Brooks says fine. That's how it works. The owner of the double winning deck starts the bidding at 0. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I guess my thought is if I'm Brooks, I bid 0 right on my own deck.
Yep.
If I'm Nathan, I'm like, I get to play my deck at 0 chains. Perfect.
No, I think
let's go.
I think Nathan is excited about flipping the game. I think he's also maybe he saw Brooks playing his deck wrong. Maybe
maybe the other way is that maybe Nathan is hoping that Brooks would bid 2 or 3.
Yeah.
To try to get his deck back, and he's like, okay, I'll bid 1. Hopefully you bid 2, and then I get my deck at an advantage.
Yep.
That could be part of it too.
That could be a thing, and Brooks
that's a much better decision.
Brooks really likes drawing cards, and playing with chains might be uncomfortable for him. Mm-hmm. That's actually a good point. I know that there's a thread on Reddit which I've been dying to read. I think it was from Nathan's perspective, but I still don't know who wins this game. But I saw that thread, I ran away from it, and I want to read it later. So let's play this game. Brooks starts turn 1. Ember Imp seems good to me. Yeah, that's a good start. 1 chain. Andrew coming in clutch. All right, Mind Barb. Mind Barb for a card. That's a liability gone. That's not a problem. I'll lose that wormhole any day. But only a 2-card hand on a.
Yeah, so now there's no chains.
Yeah, no chains.
Whispers.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Lights out for Amber. Brooks just playing cards. Seems good to me. Brooks is playing a bunch of cards.
I would have placed a Nexus in between those two, just because you can potentially steal a Shadow Self, and you want to put that next to a Dodger if you can.
Because you can steal a Shadow Self. No, it goes next to the Grekking always. There's no Shadow Selves in Brooks in Brooks's the deck Brooks is playing.
No, but he has the Grekking.
Right.
So like there is a move where you Grekking steal Shadow Self.
You put it on Dodger. There ain't no problem with that. Honestly, if anything, you're afraid of the booby trap. There's 2 booby traps in the deck Nathan is playing. That's the real point.
That's a better point. Yeah, no, you're right.
Gotcha.
Dodger middle's better.
Gotcha. We're just bantering while there's still nothing to talk about. But Nathan with 2 card turns in a row.
Yeah, that's not great. He should have a fairly big disc turn in the near future.
Hold on.
Shadow's turn.
Hold on. Did you just see that? He lost in the woods for Nexus Dodger instead of Dodger Ember Imp. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think that's the right decision if he has an easy way to kill the Ember Imp.
Like a Twin Bolt or something? No, there's no Twin Bolt in that deck. A Whispers?
Well, he has a Shadow's Turn cooking in his hand. So if he has a card that readily deals with Ember Imp, like he probably has a booby trap in his hand. So he may very well be able to tick off the Ember Imp passively.
Have you noticed that there hasn't been any artifact talk this whole game?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Look at that.
What does he have?
There's no artifacts.
There's a Relentless Whispers.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's right.
You're right. And getting value off the Psychic Bug. Yeah. Huh. Hold on. Are there any artifacts even in here? There's no artifacts.
No, remember that there's like one. Right?
No, there's one. There's the Anomaly Exploder, but Bahamut actually has no artifacts. No. Bombfoot. There's special delivery. I'm just wrong. It's the ritual. I'm just wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be casting. It's too late. Maybe someone spiked my LaCroix. Probably not. Okay. No, Nathan is playing a much more controlled, slower game, and that's just his playstyle. He likes the Telega. He thinks it makes the board state uncomfortable. And look, it's not going to die to the.
Ooh, Twin Bolting your own guy feels pretty bad.
I don't know why he felt the need to play that. Maybe was he going to Whispers here? Phase shift for not playing his last card. You see that? What's that last card?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. What could he be holding?
We're going to find out. Ugh, never mind. I have no idea. It's probably a bait. It's probably a big name card. I don't know. Here's the bait. Bait for 2? Yeah.
2. Pretty good.
Yeah. I like it into the Whispers. There you go. Nice that you get to play the bait first and then the Whispers. Don't mess up your sequencing there because that's how you lose a game.
And now he's in check.
So this is a really nice play because of the Shadow Self. Like having the Telega survive. The Telega surviving for a turn is really big for Nathan.
Well, the Anomaly Exploiter gets rid of the Telega, but I don't know if he can call Logos again. He doesn't have any Logos cards in hand.
True.
He has maybe 1 or 2.
Is Nathan gonna not play the Ghostly hand?
I mean, this is tough. If Brooks doesn't have, Nathan.
Brooks held one card. Brooks held 1 card. That's telegraphing a bait or something big, right?
Possibly.
Control the weak.
No. Don't you still play the Ghastly hand though?
I don't know.
Like you still get 2. It adds more amber to the pool.
Do you know who you're talking to?
And you're the racing deck.
Do you know who you're talking to? I always play more cards. Just play the cards. Play. So
like let's say he plays the Ghastly Hand. Now if he gets baited down to 5, which is fine.
Yeah. And then Brooks can't play any creatures without killing the Teliga. That's another real thing. Honestly, Brooks can start playing creatures and then bait. There are not a whole lot of times when you want to
But that still lets Nate do his thing, right?
Yeah.
And what did he do then?
Dis for 3 Fates. Kills his board.
Sure.
That's good. I'm fine with that. Control the Weak for something.
Better be Shadows.
Better be Shadows. Because, just to reiterate, he just played Shadows. He was holding a big Shadows turn. He played the Shadows turn. So you call Shadows. There's the chain.
The Arise for 1 creature, not great.
Mm-hmm.
But that creature is actually pretty relevant because
I'm a fan of the
deck Nathan's on doesn't have a lot of upper.
Yeah. Force him to have it.
And I think he just overdrew.
Who? Oh, because of the Arise?
Brooks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not the shuffle kill? Is that the move? Is that the, I don't know. Discard a card at random, get the Whispers, put it in the deck?
Is that the rule? It's a random card?
I don't know. There is a judge watching. So, I guess that's what it is? I don't know. Feels a little weird, man.
You look at their hand and pick one out.
Feels a little weird. No, I don't want to go into rulings. That's a whole can of worms we don't got to get into. A little rough. But
at least I caught it quick enough, right? Like, it's not like...
Yeah.
Because I noticed it pretty quick. And
he had the little chain on his deck, too.
Yeah.
Look, man, that's where all the Control the Weak calls are coming from. Okay, so he did control him into Shadows, by the way.
Okay,
Booby Trap pass, yes. That's a big deal for Brooks. Booby Trap pass.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. It he gets an amber and passes.
Brooks getting to 7.
And I actually like this play too. So Nathan can't really play Disc here, or at least it's really hard for him to play Disc creatures profitably because of Grekkin's out there now.
Mm-hmm.
So Brooks is in a position where he can not mastery, but he can reap for a decent amount. He also has cards in hand from the other 2 factions that can potentially make a more bursty play.
Right.
But he can press his advantage a little bit more. He is
I like it. It still gets him up to 7. Say again?
He is technically down because Nathan has a key and he doesn't, but he is ahead on the board pretty significantly because Nathan also lost the Woods.
I think it's fine. Brooks has a really good idea of how much key control is present in Nathan's deck right now. I think Charette is one of the bigger outs that he has right now, but things like Schuler, things like one-off steals.
No, what I'm saying is so if you're Nathan, he has a succubus in his hand. Mm-hmm. You can't play that now because the Grekkin came out.
Oh, I see. Well, he played control.
So it's
no, you can play it. You have control. Oh, he discards it. You're right. Oh, hey, no, you're right. Interesting choice though. He did control the weak, but I want to see what he controlled him into. I bet you he controlled him into into Disc because he played no cards.
That's a mistake now.
I don't know.
I think because
there's not a good control the weak call, but
I think the move is if you're gonna control the weak, you should control the weak into something that's not 3 creatures on the board that can do stuff. Because Grekkin can still take the Schuler.
Oh, you know why he discarded the succubus? Because he has to. He's still under Ember Imp.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I think that's why I wouldn't control into. Okay, control into Logos. That's fine. Hey, look, a Dexter actually hits the board. Nathan must be upset about that.
So 2 to that guy, and then I guess he does 2 to his Dexter.
Yeah, 2 to his Grekking.
Oh no! Oh, that's a mistake. You don't put the 2 on the Grekking. You need to have Grekking kill guys and steal them.
Yeah, that should be on the Terror.
Just throw that on Dexter. Who cares about Dexter? He's trash.
Or Terror. Huh. Tendrils.
I'd want to keep the Terror clean if I can. That.
Tendrils for 4. Nicely done.
Ooh.
I mean, that's an important play.
See, now his Grekking's a potato.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Like,
it was a potato. It was a potato anyway.
If he gets hit for 4, he can still kill a 2-drop. Take it.
Mm-hmm. Was Nathan holding the tendrils? Did he hold the tendrils, let Brooks forge, and then get it?
Possibly.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's a good move if he does that.
Yeah. I would endorse that play. Discarding the Succubus also was a cool play. But I mean, he had to because of the Ember Imp. Anyway.
So he plays a couple dudes, gets a steal off of the routine job.
Just the first?
I think it was only the first one.
Yeah.
So he's ahead on the board, but he's not like monstrously ahead.
The Grekking doesn't get as much value as I want it. I mean, as it's supposed to get.
And Nathan still has a lead, right? And Nathan is the racing deck in this situation. So he does need to just keep pressing the Amber at this point, and then just try to get to the finish line.
Yeah, Rob, we'll answer that question in a minute. Normally the answer is no. I'm more focused on the game, but okay. So Nathan, I mean, he has 5 untamed cards. Where does he keep getting all these cards in the same house from? Regrowth for Snufflegator. Is he down there?
I'd get any untamed card.
Ooh, Telaga's a good pull. Yeah, no, you have to play play your board. Hunting Witch, yeah.
Pretty good. Ooh. So Brooks is gonna need some key control immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would play the Ritual of Balance here.
Nexus.
Because Nexus is right there.
That's actually kind of a good point.
Some of us made that mistake before. It cost us.
Walking into the Nexus? Let's see if it happens. I think it will. That's actually kind of a cool...
So the move here should be Dodger, fight
Telaga
or Hunting Witch, and then Nexus takes an Amber. But, Nathan has a lot of Amber there.
Wait, no. Nexus can't use Ritual of Balance because... Oh, no, he can. I'm sorry. Yeah, he totally can. He can. I was flipping it, but nope. That's possibly a mistake.
Does he have any Shadows cards in hand?
He has an Urchin. Look at that Ritual of Balance doing real work for Brooks.
Let's see. I kind of feel like you'd rather kill the Hunting Witch than the Telaga.
No, he wanted to play the Urchin.
Yeah, but it's you're giving him Amber. He's going to have at least one creature in hand.
Telaga is a quantity that you control, whereas Hunting Witch is a quality you don't control. A quantity you don't control. So yeah, I want to kill the Hunting Witch there.
Because it's you're giving up an Amber either way.
There's also a niche reason because now Dodger has 3 damage on it and can be Relentless Whispered. That's a real thing. Here comes Full Moon into 2 more guys. Yep, you definitely want to kill the Hunting Witch. That was a mistake. But that is tapped. That is correct. Playing that Ritual really felt bad. I don't like that. I wanted to hold that Ritual. Or discard it.
Yeah, kind of...
Get rid of it.
Yeah, you just discard it there.
Yeah.
But it may not matter. I mean, he's going to get 5 Amber this turn.
He's going to get 5. He's going to get 4 Amber.
6 Amber.
He's going to get 4 Amber off of the Full Moon. The question is he going to fight or reap with the Snufflegator? Knowing Nathan, I think he'll fight with it. There's actually no good
Dodger.
There's no good targets to fight into. Dodger can't kill anything. Dodger's a potato.
Oh yeah.
You could fight the Terror, but
nah, that doesn't matter.
Nathan doesn't even have any elusive bodies to let Dodger fight into. Yep, there's 4 Amber. Up to 5. Hunting Witch is 6.
I think if you get him up to 6...
7.
Now he Brooks kind of has to call Shadows.
Look at the Ritual of Balance. Ooh, the double Dexter. The Ritual of Balance is so bad here. And the Rocket Boots on the elusive guy. And Brooks is in a really rough spot here.
Okay, that feels like a bad turn.
That's a bad turn.
Okay, so he has to get turn is... I mean, I don't know if he had any other Shadows cards.
No, I think he's looking at those 2 dodges like chains.
Yeah, I guess he didn't have any other plays.
Those are his chains. He's trying to get a better Shadows turn this turn. right? And he can't do that with 2 Dexters in your hand. And that's why Nathan always discards his Dexters. Turns out when Brooks played that Dexter earlier, it didn't matter. Life Ward, Pit Demon steals. Ooh, this is rough. And control the weak. Control the weak for Logos. All right, congratulations to Nathan piloting Bombfoot a bunch, but rolling in with Bahamut. So Bahamut gets 10 chains. No, Bombfoot gets 10 chains. Bahamut gets power 8, power 7. Yeah, Bahamut is his deck that he owns. Great game. Interesting game. So this is the best.
That last one was really well played, I think, for the most part.
I think that Nathan just won 3 games. I think that Brooks really needs to look at his control the weak calls. He played a lot of really rough control the weak calls in both of the games that we watched of his. Actually, these 3 and then the ones against you. Very rough calls.
I think only one of them against me was bad. The other one was okay.
Okay. But here there were a number of them that I was okay with, but a number of them that were not okay. Yeah. Wow. Great games. What are your thoughts about the series?
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing is that Arise just didn't do the work that I expected to do. I don't know if it just didn't hit at the right time or not, but that seemed like it was going to be the difference maker in the matchup when you can just Arise for like 5 dudes. And then the other side doesn't have much board control, and you can just start reaping.
Arise hit early for the Ember Imp, which is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if it would have hit harder, that would have been great. And this particular deck only won once, right? I think Nathan's play was very tight, and it was his own play style. His the way that he plays this game is much slower than the way that I'm used to playing it, the way that I think you play it too. It's much more controlled. It's much more value on the control. Not necessarily like a board state, but like putting your opponent in tricky spots. You know, he's actually considering the board, the telegas, where the control the weaks go, how much amber he's at when he gets to 6, and when he doesn't need to be at 6. He has a very good sense of when he doesn't need to be at 6.
Yeah, I felt like the first 2 games were very close. Like that was, both players made a couple mistakes,
right,
and either player could have won. The last game, there was a very small window where Brooks could have came back in, but I think Nathan was ahead most of the time. But yeah, still really, really good final. I will say I like this final a lot more than the last final we watched.
Well, no, I don't want to rag on that final, because that final was very library access and Nepenthe seed combo oriented, but there was still had a lot of really interesting plays, but elicited a very different game than this one did. This one was very technical, a lot of important plays, what to kill, what to draw, what your opponent's going to play next, what to control the weak into. These games were hard. These games were very technical, especially an adaptive where they played 2 of the 3 games with not their deck. I bet that that Nathan was considering the fact that he was more comfortable playing with somebody else's deck than Brooks would have been. I bet you that went into his thought process for actually bidding that chain.
Yeah.
And Brooks not bidding a second chain in response. I guess he could have. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, where Brooks is probably kicking himself is game 2 when he missed the Tentacus.
Yeah,
that was just such a bad turn.
That was a rough play. Yeah,
and then
that was a big tempo.
Corey Thin, he needs to revisit that game 1, because I still think that Relentless Whispers play is so bad.
Honestly, though,
how do you not kill your own guys?
While we're still winding down, I want to give a shout out to Nathan and the website that he set up. Decks of Keyforge is I know I don't use it for this because I don't want to actually be influenced with the stats, but Corey Than single-handedly makes doesn't run, but is running the website Decks of Keyforge. You can find decks there. You can You can sort stuff. You can filter stuff. They're doing tournaments. That website is incredible as far as, what it's doing for this game. Congratulations to you. Now your team has a Vault Tour winner. Congratulations. We have a Vault Tour bronze medalist on our team. And soon, come Georgia, hopefully we'll have a winner, or at least another bronze medalist. Kiramode, closing thoughts.
Fun tournament. One thing I will say about going to Denver is I was really surprised at just how many relevant community members were there. Right. Yeah. So like you go in there, and so me and my girl were there with our jerseys. Mm-hmm. But then also you look at the Dex Keyforge, there's like 6 of them, and they all have their shirts. And then the Reap Out guys, they all have their shirts. And there's a couple other guys. I played one guy in the top 16, and he's from the Key Players pod. Mm-hmm. And I will say the game I had against him was not pretty. That was a really dirty high roll that I had against him. In all fairness, it was kind of self-inflicted, but like I had this turn where basically I played a bunch of Untamed cards, including a Witch of the Eye, and I already had the Nature's Call there, and he had a choice to kill the board or like do other stuff, and he didn't kill the board. And I was like, so do I just read for 15 amber here? Guess I do. Yeah. Let's hope I don't get baited.
But yeah, the comment
I didn't get baited.
On the comment creators, I've met Ryan from Keychains podcast. He was here. And he came to New York. We played a tournament. I had a great time with him. The more we put out content, the more I'm streaming, the more I'm meeting people on the Crucible, talking to people about cons, playing online tournaments with them. And I'm really happy to be, Bouncing Deathquark is a member of the community. We are putting out content. We are trying to make people better at the game. And we're here to play Keyforge with you guys. We're happy to know other people playing Keyforge. I think that's a really good spot to end it on. I mean, I'm happy to be in the community. I'm going to Georgia. We're going to be at Gen Con for sure. We're talking about Origins. We're talking about Nova. Get excited. And, thanks to you all for tuning in. Peace.
Yeah, thanks for listening to us talk.
Yeah, we talked a lot today. And, we had a lot of people. Yeah. We had a lot of people here. We talk a lot about this game. And there are people who listen to us. And we're very thankful for that.
Hey, Colby, real quick.
Hit me.
Do you want to do the, what's it called? The discussion of how I chose my decks now, or do you want to do that in a later episode?
So what Karen was talking about is we were considering doing a larger format of expanding on really Kiramode's entire deck choices, on the logic that went into which deck to play first, which deck to play second, which deck to play third, which decks to bring in general, and a lot of that changed a number of times because the format changed, and we made a bunch of posts about it. I think we're going to save that conversation for another day. That can be done in a podcast.
We got enough talking for one day.
Yeah. Thanks you guys for watching. And this is all going to be up. Share it. We're doing this as soon as we can after the tournament, so that it's still relevant, it's still fresh in people's minds. And I wanted to make sure that people know what we have to say about this tournament. Share it around, tell your friends, play this game. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you later.
Next time.